So a shut-in is a demographically generally a person who shuts themselves in their room and doesn't come out for whatever reason. It's a rising subculture, particularly I think the name originated in Japan, and yeah, they just stay in their rooms as a way.
Well, it's a spectrum, really. Some shut-ins are just confined to their house, some shut-ins are just confined to their room, like, food is left at their door, stuff like that. It's often that they live with other people as well to help provide, often their parents. But, while other shut-ins could just be regular people that are introverts.
But there are definitely examples where it's not a choice. Yeah. Well, for me, I think it's kind of an interesting one. When I was younger, I was a very busy, very social person. I would have something on every night of the week, and I enjoyed it. But recently, I've been a little less social. I've been beginning to enjoy time by myself a lot more, and I think that's quite reflected in my film. I wanted to make sure that my character, their descent, is not necessarily a good thing, but that doesn't mean it can't be perceived as a good thing.
I'm similar to Jazz in that even now I have quite a busy social life on like a surface level with other people, where I enjoy interaction with others, but I think for me the time when I'm most vulnerable is with myself. I find with others I prefer small close relationships rather than large group settings. And I'm during lockdown especially, I actually found my mental health improving, which is obviously contrary to the majority of the experience that was felt by it, because it obviously completely threw a lot of us off in many ways, but for me, it made me feel a lot happier, a lot more comfortable with my own identity. Even though I was with, obviously I was in the house with my family and everything, so there was a little bit of chaos at times, but it was quite, it almost helped me mature in a way, which I found quite interesting, because when I came out of lockdown into social settings, I was better at interacting with other people as a result of that. So I feel like being a shut-in can potentially be a way to try and realize someone's identity without all those sort of external pressures that come as a result of that, which obviously is, can be very stressful, and obviously leads to people taking up a lot of their mental space and time trying to think about things that may not necessarily matter as much. Yeah, I think that's...
I am like Jazz and Gabriel, I'm a very introverted person. I find that I think best when I'm alone, so I can work better and I'm more creative. And I think for a lot of people, it's the opposite. Obviously, everyone's different, but it really helps to develop ideas around projects, and it also helps to recharge. I get very tired socially and drained, so having weekends and days to myself is something which really helps pick me back up and be ready for the week or for an activity I have the next day. And I think solitude is something which should really help a person. Yeah. My two characters, Darcy and Lucian, they are different. I've written them so that they are comfortable in their solitude, but one of them, Lucian, is more. They would be more. They're more curious. They're more intrigued, and Darcy is very reserved. And I think I've almost written two parts of myself into those characters by putting in the part of myself that goes out and is social with people and enjoys interaction and gets inspiration from the outside world, and then the other part of myself that almost would just become a shadow myself if I could just stay inside, you know?
Largely I found during lockdown I am an introverted person ultimately and enjoy my solitude, but there comes a certain point where I kind of begin to kind of fall inwards too much, and so in my character and during lockdown, quite often I'd remedy that by escaping into the minds of other characters and kind of fabricating a different identities and different worlds, and just kind of explore that through the process of writing. And my character is a maladaptive daydreamer, so to a larger extent than I'd say that they do that, and it's a thing that they have control over, the world in their mind, or at least until it begins to unravel mysteriously.
Yeah, absolutely. Having such a collaborative environment is so helpful in making your story as best as it can. I have several scenes that I have completely cut because the people around me telling me their thoughts made me realize it's either not necessary or even disrupts the entire point of the film. Being so collaborative just really makes you think harder through as many different perspectives as the film can be viewed from.
Well, I found it very helpful because coming into the Shuttons I was completely new to filmmaking, and the only experience I had in it was on short film sets, acting in them. So it was helpful for me because it allowed me to understand the process of screenwriting a lot better when I had other people around it helping me, and allowed me to fully develop my characters in the story in a way that would have been reaching their full potential, I think.
I think working with others is really, really useful because often when you're writing something and you're really invested in a project, you can easily become so close to the project that you sort of lose self-awareness. Not fully, but to an extent where, if you're looking at scenes, you can put things in that you think are necessary but maybe aren't, or you can make mistakes because you're so because you're so close to it. So having external feedback and having other people working on it really provides a more clear-minded approach. It's also providing a really good experience for collaborative writing, because that's basically how most of our TV series are produced in the film industry.
I guess loneliness is such a unique and subjective experience for everyone. So when you try to make a film about it, everyone's going to be different.
In a world plagued by a dark force with twisted beliefs.
A teenage girl feels trapped between the walls of the outside world and her mother's oppression.
Two teenagers confined in their rooms begin to find connection with each other and start to wonder what it would be like if they were to meet up with each other.
A person forms a codependency with a cockroach infestation as an attempt to cope.
A girl develops amphibianism, and despite her father's disgust, she manages to become comfortable with herself.